Nightcap, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez. We got the ladies in the building because we talk about lady parts. I mean, you've looked at yourself in the mirror, right? But have you looked at yourself in the mirror down there? Whatever's down there, it's normal, baby, despite what porn might tell you. But I've got the ladies here to discuss because is it normal? Let's get into it.
Yeah, what's up for a nightcap? Chill, you know, kick back.
All right, let's get into the lady bits, shall we? We've got pelvic floor physical therapist, Dr. Mamawa Borg, back with us.
Always a good time here.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. And we've got a kitty connoisseur, Dami, baby, in the building. We've got the kitty doctor, esthetician, Tambra Monteiro. Thanks for being here. So, ladies, you all have a wonderful lady bit.
Vagina.
Yeah. Vagina, yes. I mean, what are the correct terms, doctor?
So I would say all of it is the vulva.
The whole thing is the vulva.
Yes.
Okay.
The vagina is just the hole to the uterus.
Over here. Okay.
Yes. And then you have your clitoris, you have your labia, which are the outer lips. The inner lips are the labia minora. So you have majora and minora. So the majors are on the outside, the minors are on the inside. Okay. And then you have the clit.
I remember this during sex.
Or clitoris.
I'm sorry, Dami?
I'm just saying, you know, I'm not going to be thinking about those names when
Never.
I'm having sex. There's only one part that matters.
Never.
When it comes to the pleasure, right?
Correct.
So I think the biggest issue that you hear about is that women really don't take the time to get to know themselves down there, whether it comes to pleasure, whether it comes to what it looks like or anything like that. And everything you learn about is from either the male perspective,
Right.
pornography, or just what
Porn
you
be lying,
assume.
Porn
be lying.
They're lying, because women, when they come to see me, they think that there is a standard of vagina. They don't know that, like, all of them, they all look different. Like, you know, like you had a fingerprint, talk about, it's a coochie print, okay? They all look different.
A coochie print.
A coochie print.
Okay.
That.
Interesting. A coochie print.
And yeah.
Yes.
And the funny part about it is a lot of women, they have this notion that theirs is ugly.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I want to get the surgery or whatever surgery I want. I want to change it. I want to be like, no, you have a pretty vagina.
Well, that's only because of how men have tried to, you know, paint this picture that you have to be perfect down there. Boy, mind your business. Either you gonna eat it or you not.
Bam.
It's simple. So
You
how you
coming or
gonna tell
not?
me what my lady part is supposed to look like?
Right.
What about your ugly elephant? Boy,
But
leave me
you know
alone.
what? Your ugly elephant. We talking about trunks on the show. No, we ain't talking about those today.
Not today.
No. Okay, so, but I feel like every single part of the vulva looks different for every
Person, and
Every
even
person out
in
there.
in different parts of your life. Infants or children are not going to have all the parts. They still are developing it when they become in the puberty age group. So whenever you go through menopause, you might have thinner vulva, like a thinner labia, or your clitoris is smaller. So I think it's also really important to know your body even from the puberty stage all the way up, because when changes happen, you can at least be proactive to do something.
Prepared.
about it.
Absolutely.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, when changes happen, I'm like, what do I need to be in? What do I need to prepare for?
Okay, so like if you've gone through menopause or you're in the perimenopausal state, you're gonna have lips that are thinner. Or if you just had a baby, sometimes they get longer and they stretch out, or they're less, they lose their
Fat?
their elasticity, like that plumpiness.
That's after. But what I did, the only time I do notice a difference is if I do have a pregnant woman in office, because it definitely swells towards the end of pregnancy. So it definitely looks a bit different, but still not like bad, like women think, you know. I think that vaginas are beautiful. All of them are beautiful in their own right. And they're supposed to be different, because when I started my job, I thought all vaginas looked like mine. I didn't really know it was a big difference in what they look like, and depending on who it is.
And the color changes too. Well, not changes, but there's different shades.
There's different skin tones down there.
Different skin tones.
Yes.
And so people, I mean, even with pornography, like they always talk about pink tissue, and not everybody's tissue is pink.
No. Why are y'all giggling? All right, so we have a beautiful chart where I guess these outer lips are what you call the labia majora. Look at me learning on the show.
Wait a minute now.
She was so proud. Thank you for her. All right, so these are what we're mainly looking at here are different types of labia majora. And these change over time as well?
They can, yeah, they can during pregnancy.
Definitely during pregnancy.
Yeah. After pregnancy, if you've had some sort of like diagnosis that changes, because I mean, vulva cancer is real. And that's another reason why women should know what their vulva looks like. Because if you're getting scarring that happens, like lichen sclerosis, which is like the scarring that your tissue just kind of atrophies or it shrinks, and then the canal gets smaller and all the things. So, I mean, there's some changes that can happen that it's important to just know what it looks like.
And if you lose a lot of weight. I've only seen one client, and it has to be a big, significant amount of weight for there to be a difference. But if you lose weight, sometimes, like one client years ago, and she was very open about this, so I'm not outing her. She would, say it, but she had lost about 300 pounds. So her lips were very loose, very thin, and she was going to get a surgery to have that corrected, but that was the only time. One other thing is, my girls that love our BBLs and lipo and all of that, when you go get your BBL and your lipo and you do your stomach, don't forget your cooch cake. Don't forget it, because you can tell if the vulva, because that encompasses all of that. When you don't lipo that part, it kind of look a little bit swollen or fat if you got a flat stomach. So all of
and then that's sticking out.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. That's the first thing you see when they pull up.
But how can we change the narrative to feel comfortable? Because a lot of the time our mothers don't even feel comfortable when we're growing up to say, hey, baby, you need to look down there and think about when you get older, pleasure yourself. It's not always about the man. Your body is beautiful, your vagina is beautiful. So that narrative has to also change where we're comfortable enough to go down there and get a mirror and say, okay, I like that. And so how do we change the narrative? Right.
And actually, we're going to talk about this self-love and this self-talk, all right? Coming up next, you got to start appreciating your body and your lady bits. We're going to talk a little bit more coming up next. You stay right there, ladies and fellas, because you better appreciate it too. Just saying.
A woman's inability to feel confident and to stand in her power is directly correlated to how much she accepts her whole body. When a woman is disconnected, shameful, and feels gross about her own body parts, that is when we are disconnected from our own sense of power. We will start to see beauty in the womanly nature that we all are when we come back to learning how to love ourselves first. The moment that we actually accept this and embrace this, we reclaim ourselves as women.
We are reclaiming our time, okay? We've got Dr. Mamawa Boyd, we've got Dami, we've got Tamara Monteiro. Ladies, I mean, she preached.
I like her. Right? Because it's so true. We have, of course, we've talked about it a lot in this last decade, but we have impossible standards. But what I really do love is that women are starting to kind of accept who we are in its entirety and not just one cookie cutter version of what a woman should be. And it's beautiful.
They're exploring it. They're also speaking about it more openly. I mean, I think we got to credit a little bit to social media because people just feel a little bit more courage in a way. Sometimes people get like really comfortable, and then other times it's like, I mean, the more people start to see that it's normal to have conversations about it, about sex, about your vulva, know what it is, what it feels like, how can you not, how are you able to explain to somebody else what to do and what brings you pleasure if you are not even familiar with it at all?
Exactly.
Right, absolutely.
And now, especially, I think women care about their body during sex, and it's not always about the man. Because I know when I first started having sex, I was afraid of my vagina, and I was afraid to let him know, like, oh, this doesn't feel good to me, because in the back of my mind, it was all about him. And now we're like, the beam right there, okay?
But that's we were taught. So in the Tantra sessions that I have with some couples, you know, it's all about identifying with what pleases you, you know. Watch her pleasure herself. You know, maybe what you've been doing is not working. You know, listen to her, pay attention to her body, touch her, caress her before you just do all the willy-nilly things that your daddy probably taught you.
Right.
And he didn't please your mama either. So,
the mom's still not pleased.
she just walking around all timid. Exactly. Ain't had an orgasm since '76. Boy, leave me alone.
Was she finally? Oh, the mirror dropped.
Yeah. Baby,
looks
what you in
pretty
there
down
doing? Why you
there.
still in the bathroom?
Doing what you couldn't do for 70 years.
Thank you.
So how do we start having a positive conversation with our daughters or our children? It can be our sons too, about how to appreciate a woman's vulva in its entirety.
I think
levels.
for one, you know, not making sex bad or not making your body bad. Like I'm what they call a naked mom, okay? I have all girls.
Absolutely.
And like it's when I walk in the room, if they walk in the room and I'm naked, it's not the end of the world.
And they're not ashamed.
And they're not ashamed of their bodies. Being there for them when they have questions about their bodies, and also like she said with social media, just talking about it where it's not so taboo. I think that is going to really help the next generation of girls who will become women feel free.
I think it's important to, you know, name it, call it a thing. Sometimes people want to give it nicknames, which I think is really cute, you know, in some cases, but sometimes it's like if they have a pain or there's a problem, like kids get UTIs and they don't know what to call it.
Right.
And then they're just kind of like, they don't even.
My cookie hurts.
Yeah, my cookie.
Where's your
cookie?
Right.
And so I think even if starting younger, then they get more used to it. I mean.
So should we teach our sons to call it their parts penis and
Yes.
our daughters
vulva.
Absolutely.
My daughter knows it as her vulva. I'm sure she didn't want me to tell her.
But it's her vulva.
Yeah, and if and she doesn't hesitate to like explain if there's something going on. We've normalized it in the house, and I think if people normalize it, then whenever it's time for that puberty talk, it doesn't feel as like, oh my gosh, what is happening? You can go into it in more detail.
There's definitely no embarrassing moments in my home. Well, I'm their mother, so I'm very open. We're going to talk about it. So, hey, what's going on down there? And are you having sex? So, my kids are grown, so there's always a, hey, left you some condoms. Do you want to talk about it? You know, if you're going to be intimate with a young lady, listen to her. No means no. You know, if something hurts, just pay attention, you know? So you just have to have that open relationship sometimes when your child is that age, appropriate. But just, just have open lines of communication.
Like they are a little younger than adult age, you know, 16 or 15 or, you know, I had a friend, she unfortunately walked in on her son in the bathroom. He hit puberty, you know how that goes. and she was like, oh my God, what are you doing? And I was like, why did you do that? Like, you should have like walked out and later, first of all, he's already petrified. Like his mom has caught him doing this. And then secondly, like masturbation is one of the most natural things you can do in the world. And if you haven't had a chance to have a talk with them or not, this is that opportunity where you don't make it a bad thing. That open dialogue and conversation is going to be incredible in your relationship with them and them learning about stuff to come in the future.
And I'd rather have that conversation first than them hear about it.
Absolutely.
Well, just know that if you have boys, just keep a lot of socks and toilet paper.
Oh, God.
I got a 16-year-old. So I get it. All right. Well, I feel like I need an anatomy lesson, and you might need one too. So coming up next, we've got some show and tell, if you will. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Nightcap. We've been talking about these. Don't know what this is? This is a model of a vulva, which I learned today is basically the entire nether regions of a female, right?
That's true.
That's Dr. Mawa is about to take us all to school. We've all got our own little model here.
Everybody has theirs.
Yeah. Okay.
The outer lips, like we talked about earlier, are the majora. Okay, they're on the outside. I have the silicone ones, so they actually move and they're softer, so that you can.
Let me touch yours.
Move
Touch
them.
my vagina.
Okay.
Yes.
And then the inner
You had
lips.
to do that.
I had to.
The inner lips are your labia minora.
Okay.
And they can sit anyway. A lot of times they're asymmetrical, where one side's a little bit longer, or sometimes they come outward more, or they stay a little bit more inside. And then you have 2 holes over here, and then you have obviously your anus.
Your back door.
Yes. So the hole for penetration and for birth and cycles and all that, your period, is going to be your vagina. And this one has an actual side view of it. So this would be like the inside of, this is the canal that goes to the uterus, right?
Right.
So you have the vagina over here, and then at the top there you have the urethra. Which is the pee hole. You can see it better on y'all's cushion.
Yeah.
But what y'all have that I don't have is the clitoris, which most people don't know is you're only seeing the head from the outside. And then if you take it outside of this is behind. Yeah, there you go.
Okay,
Hold
then.
on.
And so all of that is your clitoris.
Wait, no. This whole thing?
The whole thing is your
Is
clitoris.
that what this penguin-looking item
That is
here?
about the size of your clitoris that lives inside here. But what you just see on the outside is the glans clitoris, which is the outside, which has the most nerve endings, over 10,000 nerve endings.
See, that's why they can't find it.
It is.
If they couldn't find all of this whole wishbone right here, they would be able to find it.
Yes, and it's the only organ in the body that is solely for pleasure. Like
Really? There's no other purpose?
No, that's it. Just
I heard
pleasure.
that the size of it is like the female version of balls.
It is. Well,
Yeah.
okay, so the penis is the same as the
Clit.
clit.
Yeah.
See, I knew it.
Wow.
I knew I had balls. I knew it. Absolutely.
I knew it too. I knew it too. All right, so when the ladies at home who are watching now and they go take a look at themselves in the mirror, I assume there are some abnormalities that should not be there that they should then get checked. Is there anything that you say like, okay, definitely go get that checked?
Yes. So if you find that you see scars or like scabs on either your labia minora or majora, that's something that could be a red flag for maybe like lichen sclerosis, which is more on the autoimmune side, and it could cause atrophy. It's very itchy, and it feels like, okay, maybe I have a yeast infection again. I'm super itchy, but lichen sclerosis could change into something like vulvar cancer, and so you want to be proactive for that.
Okay.
Another thing is like people that say that I can't have an orgasm, or it's really hard for me to have an orgasm. If your clitoris is kind of hidden underneath the hood, it's the same as like if a man had foreskin and they couldn't pull back that foreskin. Your clitoris should be able to move outside of that clitoral hood so that you're able to, oh, yours is, oh, no, it's fine.
You're like, hold up, this one needs surgery. All right.
And if it doesn't, sometimes people can have pain during sex, during arousal, or they're not able to
Achieve an orgasm?
Yeah.
Oh,
and it
hell
might
no.
just-
Get that checked for real.
Climax.
Okay.
Yes.
One
I mean,
thing
there's
I
go
see
ahead.
in my office is the Bartholomews gland.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yes, the Bartholomew gland.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what is that?
It's like where all the like fluid, like your lubrication happens in the glands that live inside.
And they can't drain. So it'll.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yes. It'll start to swell up, and you'll know it because it'll be like one side of it happening opposed to both sides. And then most of the time the girls are like, I'm calling my man right now, something. It's not him, okay? And it's quite easy to fix once you see your doctor and they kind of confirm that. But that's something common I see.
But lips looking all sorts of ways or going this way and that, one's a little longer than the other, that's normal.
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 Beautiful.
It's normal, beautiful. All right, y'all stay right there. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Nightcap. We've had such a wonderful conversation about our vulvas here. Thank you, Dr. Borg. Thank you, Dami. Thank you, Tambra. Any final thoughts for the ladies at home? who just haven't taken the darn tootin' mirror and look down there.
Please accept your body the way it is.
Yes.
I can't tell you how many times women really think that their stuff is ugly. It's not. It's beautiful. You have a beautiful vagina, okay?
Absolutely.
Vulva.
Vulva.
You have a beautiful vulva.
And don't be afraid to explore it, touch it, like look at it, take a photograph if you have to, look at it during the day, send it to yourself.
Come on now. Come on,
saying.
schedule that text.
Exactly.
Don't play with it at work.
No, probably not.
Why not?
I knew Dami was gonna say
Well, I mean, if you need to release, then you need to release.
Cheers, ladies. Thank you so much for coming on, having an honest conversation
Yes,
about
honey.
our vulvas. All right? And cheers to you at home. Go have some fun with the vulva today. A consensual fun. I always have to add that. See you guys
Talk
next
to
time.
me, baby. Talk to me.